Hello everybody, welcome to Halfspin. We're talking about the sport of knife throwing. Today we're going to talk about making paracord wrap handles for throwing knives. Alright, let's do it. So I want to be clear, if you've seen my channel before, you know I prefer a bare metal throwing knife. You can throw it much better than when it has a wrapped handle because you can really grab that handle. When you do no spin, I love the feel of bare metal when I'm doing no spin because I slide my finger down that spine. Half spin, it doesn't matter. If I'm grabbing it by the blade, it doesn't matter if it has a wrapped handle or not. Full spin, if I'm doing a full rotation, most of the time I don't care if it has a wrap or not because I just grab it firmly and I throw. Now, there is a problem when it comes to the way that you wrap your throwing knife. If you see the way that I wrap this AceJet dagger, you can see it's a very tight wrap. It spirals around without any patterns and there's no string tied at the end. If you have a string tied at the end, if you have the paracord tied in a little knot hanging, that's when I don't like paracord handles because what happens is when you throw them, you get whipped by that little extra tail of paracord. Also, when you throw no spin, your thumb will hit that little knot at the end. So knotting it at the end is not a good idea when it comes to throwing knives. What you want to do is you want to wrap it nice and tight, a very simple design, and then you want to get rid of the ends of that paracord so they're not interfering with your throwing style. I like the SOG fling throwing knives, but I complained a lot about the paracord wrap. And the reason was the way they do it is they tie it off at the end. And what that was doing was it was getting in the way of the way I throw the knife.
All right, so half spin by the blade, it slides out great, or military half spin. But the problem with this paracord is this knot right here. So when I throw it full spin, that knot is hitting my hand, causing it to mess up its rotation. Also, when I throw no spin, my hand hits that knot. No matter which side I throw it from, my hand is still hitting that knot.
So then if a bare metal knife throws better than a wrapped knife, why would you use a paracord handle? Well, I think the obvious first reason is looks. Like if you look at this AceJet dagger, it looks pretty cool wrapped. I also wrapped one of my AceJet stump hunters just because I thought it gave it that traditional kunai look. I usually don't like kunai knives, but I like the traditional looking kunai knives, and this kind of did that for me once I wrapped it in this red paracord, so I kind of like the way that this one turned out. If you look at something like this Cold Steel True Flight, this is a sharpened throwing knife, and so this has a true edge, not a false edge. This is a knife that I enjoy. I like to take this camping a lot because it's a useful knife that I can also throw. It is robust and it is built to be thrown, but it does have that true edge, so I can also use it around camp. It does come with a paracord handle, but unlike the SOG Fling, this has that solid wrap where it has no tails, no knot at the end, nothing to get in your way. So I really like the way that Cold Steel wrapped the True Flight. So this is a knife that I prefer to have the handle on because I use it as a regular knife. And so if you're gonna cut anything, you should probably have a paracord handle or some type of scales on there because you're gripping it and you want to have that extra padding when you're using it as a tool. So the True Flight, it completely makes sense to have that paracord handle. So this is the AceJet dagger. This is a throwing knife that I really enjoy. It is a blade heavy knife, so it rotates pretty quickly. But because of that skinny handle, it's really fun just to grab it by the handle and fling it into a target full spin. It is a lot of fun to throw. But because that handle is skinny, I thought, let me try wrapping in paracord and see how it turns out. I don't like wrapping a fatter handle, a thick handle in paracord because then you just made the knife extra thick and then it's really not enjoyable to throw. But after I wrapped this AceJet dagger in paracord, it came out looking pretty cool. It reminds me of like a Chinese or Japanese throwing dart. When you look at the AceJet dagger wrapped in paracord, I mean, it's just begging to have a rope on the end and be turned into a rope dart. I mean, look how cool that looks. If you'd like to see a step-by-step guide on how I make my paracord throwing knife handles, make sure you watch my how-to video. Okay everybody, I hope that you liked this video. Don't forget to subscribe and I'll see you next time.